Hello, hello. Let's see who's joining here already. Hope you're all having a good day. Currently looking through the names, already 14. I'm waiting for Dan to join. Because this is not my show today, it is Dan's. There's Dan. Let me promote him to panelist. Sorry for not shaving. I might have a bit of beard hair here.
My man.
There's Dan.
Yes, sirree.
How are you
ready
doing?
to go? I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm ready to go, but I would wait a little bit for more people to come in. I still see people joining all the time, and it's still a minute to the webinar, and probably some people will come in a few minutes over time as well.
That's quite all right. You started the way you normally start things, and we'll make everybody happy.
Sounds good.
So how you been?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. It's been some good months. Start of a new exciting year, so
Yes.
a lot of stuff we're planning. So for you?
Yeah, things are going well. It's been so far a good year. We're going through the whole thing. It'll get even better. So how many people ultimately signed up?
I didn't check the latest figures, but over 100. I really didn't check, so no idea.
That's right. That's what happens when you get the Deej. That's it.
Yeah. I hope not more people than 100 will join the webinar, because we are on a Zoom plan that only allows 100 people, but I don't think so.
It's unlikely. I mean, I'm happy to get 25%, quite frankly.
Yeah, we're over 25 already, I think. But I see we have Herman saying good afternoon to the panelists, and Uwe saying hi from Australia. You are alive. From Australia. What time is it there, Uwe? I hope it's not a too unpleasant time. 3 a.m. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is she going to sleep or just waking up?
No, this is Uwe. He's a guy.
Yeah.
He said you should be honored. Yeah.
Yes.
And we also have Ernie from Lake Sinclair and Adrian from Wales.
Ernie from Lake Sinclair. That's Ernie Politzer. He's an engineer at the lake house. Are you an engineer too?
I'm an engineer too, yeah.
Okay, so you and Ernie are the only two engineers I know that actually have a personality. So
that's you don't know enough engineers, I guess.
Yes, that's it.
I know a lot of engineers because I studied it, right? I was in between all of them, and I know more than have a personality. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you have to find him.
Ernie actually, he would do really well in Europe, where many of your people are from, because Ernie does, I guess he turns garbage into fuel. He's one of those biofuel engineers, and he's a great guy and a recent convert to the Flare.
Oh.
Now he calls it Deej Flare, not Salesflare, but you know how it is.
That's because you said it's called like that? Or?
Yes, that's it.
Ernie Politzer. Yes, I can see that. He's currently on the Flare.
Yes. Oh, he's flaring.
I still see some people joining. We're at 44 now, including the two of us. 42 without. Jacob just raised his hand and then stopped raising it. Ooh, exciting. I think we can starting. I suppose at the beginning is an intro anyway. So we're 45 now. So welcome to everyone. I think we're mostly Salesflare customers here, but also some customers in contacts of Dan's. Dan is known by many names. The Deej, the Sales Energizer, the Sales Arbiter, and he's helping mostly small and medium-sized companies, right? Just like us.
Yeah, one to 18 million.
1 to 18 million. There you
I don't
go.
know how many pounds is that, or how many?
Or euros here.
Yeah, how many euros is that? I don't know.
Less euros because the euro is worth more than the dollar. Yeah.
Yes.
What did I want to say? And you're helping them to be successful in sales. And Dan is a Salesflare user and customer himself. So a fellow Salesflarer helping other Salesflarers. I will have to find a better word for that.
Yes.
Without further ado, I'll leave it to you.
Thank you. All right. So I am a big Salesflare enthusiast. And the reason for that is I used to be on Salesforce. And if you ever want to convert somebody to Salesflare, just put them on Salesforce first. But all right, guys, here's the deal. People from all around the world, especially, who's my gal from Australia? Is that
it's a he again.
Oh, it's a he. Well, he's a rock star at 3 a.m. That's awesome. So I want all of you people to understand, listen, there's a big difference between sales and marketing. If it was the same thing, it would probably be spelled the same. It's not. It's completely different. This is all about sales to make this your best sales year ever. And I'm going to share a couple of things with you that are contrary to what you've been taught your entire life. And the reason that they taught you that is because they're wrong. And I'm not saying it because they're bad. They're just wrong. Because as human beings, we tend to want to do things that are comfortable. And most human beings, especially most salespeople, are generally agreeable people. So you want people to like you. And the first thing I want to share with you is nobody likes you more than you like yourself. And so with that just frame of mind, understand that everybody you meet cares about themselves more than they care about you. So anything that I'm going to share with you that you're going to say to yourself, I couldn't do that because what are they going to think about me? They're not going to think about you. Okay. They're thinking about number one. They're thinking about themselves. Okay. So if you're with me, I want everybody to raise your hand just to let me know that you're there, because I want this to be interactive. Just go ahead and do the hand raise thing. Okay. Boom, boom, boom.
See 20 hands of 47, so the rest is sleeping.
Right. Okay. And if you hate me already, then raise your hand twice. And then we'll meet a good joke. All right, so here, we're gonna get started. Can you see this back here? Make my screen big so you could see this. If not, I could share the screen, but I'd like to know this
no, I'll pin you. I think no, Spotlight, it's called Spotlight.
Okay, Spotlight, very good. And I'd like everybody to, in addition to, if I say something that's controversial and you don't agree, listen, I'm from New Jersey. It's impossible to offend me. I couldn't care less. And actually, I want debate and I want you to get involved. Okay, so here's the first thing. 5 things you never thought of before. First of all, I'm going to handle all the 5 of these things. And I'm like Mr. Tangent. So I'm going to put this slide here several times to make sure that we cover everything. So I want to give you total value. You're not as nice as you think you are. And I'll explain that in a minute. Number 2, cold calling is the best way to get new clients. It used to be that people say, it's just okay. It helps you. It's less. No, it's the best way. All right. It's not the best way. It is the best way. When people tell you it's not the best way, it's because they're too chicken to do it and they don't realize that it's the best way. So keep that in mind. And we're going to talk about that in full. 90% of salespeople choose, because of something similar I just said, they choose not to be successful because they're trying to take the easy way out and they think that that's right. And we're going to go through that. And 4, it's blocked here. You need very little sales skills to be successful. That should be good to know. And no is better than a yes most of the time. I'm sure all of you, raise your hand if you've ever had somebody say yes to you really quickly. You're like, oh my gosh, I made this sale, it's all good. And then they turned out to be the worst, price conscious, horrible clients ever. Raise your hand if you can do that. Or there you go. And by the way, any questions in between, please bring them on. And Jourdan, you just interrupt me. And then, number 6 of the 5 things you never thought of before. By the way, always a little bit extra value. Instead of 5, you get 6. Sales is the most noble profession. And that's where we're going to start first. All right, so this is going to truly make, if you take notes, if you ask questions, if you get involved, I promise you, 2021, your best sales year ever. All right, so I guess click in the little chat box, just the number 1. If when someone asks you what you do, you refer to yourself as a salesperson. Go ahead, Jourdan, anybody? Yeah, 0. Yeah, 0 if you don't, and a 1 if you do. Oh, yeah. So very few.
I give it a 0 also.
Yeah, when I do this live. Well, then let me ask you, Jourdan. And by the way, a little later on today, during this presentation, and I'm going to stay on track. If you want to come on screen, and we could go back and forth, because I'm going to ask some participation that way. You'll get some FaceTime in front of all these other people. You'll be able to say the type of business you're in. You'll be able to do a little marketing. Or you could be chicken and stay back. So just keep that in mind, that I'm going to ask you if you want to get involved before. And if you do, jump on it quick and Jourdan will hook you up. So yeah, very few people would refer to themselves as a salesperson. And you got to ask yourself, hey, Jourdan, why not? What do you refer to yourself as?
Oh, I usually keep it vague and I say I have a software company. And
but I'm a software company, right? And the reason is, you in your head you think a software company owner, which is kind of cool to say, I would say that too, is more respectable and more credible and gives you more. It makes you feel better about yourself than calling yourself a salesperson. When I was a stockbroker, everybody would say, don't call yourself a broker. Now you're a financial consultant. No, I'm not a financial consultant. I was a stockbroker. I would sell stocks. And the reason why is because I know how important salespeople are in life. Do you know Thomas Edison? I was just reading about Thomas Edison, discovered, electricity, the light bulb, the whole thing. But do you know how he sold it? Everything was gas lights. Everything was the whole thing. New York City, he took a block of New York City and he had to do it for free. He lit up a block. He electrified one block of New York City. He had to imagine selling the idea of electricity. Like, that wasn't a gimme. Oh yeah, sure. Why don't we just do it? No, that wasn't a gimme. He had to sell that. How important is that? How noble is that? Basically started the entire Industrial Revolution. How many people here, by a show of hands, raise your hands if you're married or ever had a significant other? Put 1 if you have, yes. Put 0 if you're 12 years old. Okay, yeah, good. So 2, very good. Who said 2? That was strong. Who was that person? Well, you find out who said 2. That was good. And let me know. Because that right there is
Beat Stowe.
Beat Stoble. Gosh, I know Beat Stoble. Beat Stoble's in Florida. He's a great guy. He's a big fan of the Deej. And so thank you, Beat. Everybody here in Europe is talking about you. So if you are married and you just think about that, just that here you are, and all your idiosyncrasies, all the little crazy things about yourself, all those things that are going on. Even with all that stuff, you've managed to convince another human being, persuade another human being to say yes and spend the rest of their lives forsaking everybody else on the planet for you. And you don't call yourself a salesperson? Are you out your mind? Just think of that. Just think of all you had to do to ingratiate yourself to another human. And all the good that's come out of this merger between you, except for Beat, who has 15, but all these good things that have happened, all the progress, all the children that were created because of you being a salesperson. It's the most noble profession. All these people, Walt Disney, I'm sorry, I apologize. These are my influences are American, but that's Walt Disney. That's Beethoven. I mean, Beethoven had to sell his stuff. You know, he used to do concerts. It wasn't
Beethoven
just
is not American, just FYI.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I apologize. Gosh, imagine that. I can't believe I said that. All right. Well, here I am. Anyway, this guy, the guy on the bottom left there. This one, my left. That's Colonel Sanders. That's the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy. 75 years old. He was going around, he lost everything. He was going around with a recipe. He's 75 years old. He has a recipe and he's, just walking around saying, hey, I can make this chicken with the thing and all that. And he's got like 1,000 people said no, 1,000. You think you'd quit after like 500. No quit. Kentucky Fried Chicken, all this greatness. And he's not going to stop. And when I'm saying you're not as good of a person as you think you are, I'll pick on Jourdan. How many people have Salesflare? And how many people have Salesflare and have like the limited version? You don't have the part with the workforce thing on it or the workflow on it. Listen, this whole thing.
Most people,
The workflow is what makes this special. The workflow is what makes you, conveniently and automatically touch back to people. The workflow is the reason why you're on this seminar or webinar right now. The workflow is what keeps that kind of friendly conversation going. It's what makes you successful. How dare you, Jourdan, allow most of the people to not participate in that part of the thing. And you people out there, if you have a product, you probably have a limited version of your product and a grand version of your product, an inexpensive version of your product and a more expensive version of your product. And that product, for a fact, is going to make the world better and make that person more successful if they get it. And yet you allow them to buy the limited version where in Jourdan's case, it's nothing more than a glorified Excel spreadsheet. I'm just kidding, but I just had to say that there. But the point is, they would be better off for an extra few dollars a month. But you're taking you're taking that little bit first, instead of really telling your clients what they really should do, instead of leading your clients to make the right decision. So I say you're not as nice as you could be. To make somebody half as successful as they could be, not nice. To not make the call because you're feeling a little, your belly hurts a little bit when you call a stranger, knowing full well that you could save their business with whatever you have. Not nice. But you can change it. Just by realizing my dad. Okay, so I always have to mention my dad because we're talking about the noble profession. When I was graduating high school, he's a little French Jewish man. And so whenever I speak about him, I'm saying that because I use his little accent. And I was graduating school and my dad comes to me and he only went to 6th grade. And so he wasn't really all that concerned with college, whatever. And so he said, so Danny, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to get a job. I don't know what I'm going to do, whatever. And he said, that's fine. But remember this. He says, Danny, you have a job. You have one customer and he's called a boss. And if something happens that he decides to fire you, you got nothing. But Danny, if you're a salesman, well, then you have 100 bosses, but they're called customers. And if one of them fires you, actually, I have a slide here. Who cares? You got 99 more. You see, your financial security doesn't come from having a job. Financial security and all the good you can give the world comes from you being able to earn an income anytime, anywhere, to be able to satisfy the needs of yourself and your family and your loved ones and your neighbors and the people around you every single day, wherever you are, wherever you land up, especially now with all this technology. What could be more noble than that? What can be greater than that? Somebody meets you at a party or talks to you. What do? I'm a salesman. In fact, that's my line. That's my line when I call people strangers on the phone. If we had the time, I do it right now. I call them, I say, hey, I'm one of those salesman type characters. You got 20 seconds for me? Everybody says yes. I'm a salesman secretly. When you go into all those things that you're worried about when you're meeting somebody new, that what are they going to think of me? It's the exact opposite. When you get an email that's a video email and the person looks like a fool on there, whatever it is, you think that you look like a fool. What they think secretly is, dang, I wish I had the guts to do that. The exact opposite. When you give total honesty on a sales call, when they say, why should I do business with you and not do anyone else? And you come back to them and say, well, I really don't know if you should. I don't know enough yet. Let me find out. When you think you're giving away the sale, they're grabbing on to you. It's the exact opposite. It's the most noble profession. Be brave. Dang, that was pretty good. What do you think of that, Jourdan?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Does anybody disagree with that? Anybody have any questions? I'm trying to take with the time that we have, I'm trying to take a more strategic approach. So this is, high level stuff, but because the tactical things, what do you say? How do you say? Man, it's all over YouTube and it's free if you know what you're looking for. But if you have some, questions along the way, bring them on and we'll be able to handle. And I like being interrupted. All right. So you're not as nice as you think you are. We took care of that one, right? Thumbs up. All right. Cold calling is the best way. We're going to talk about that and how. But really, when you talk about speed, people try to build their message and you want to find a good message. It's not for you to decide what your message is. It's not for you to decide what resonates with your customers. It's for them. It's for the prospects. It's for the clients to decide what you ought to be saying. And cold calling, why I say it's the best way to get new customers, it's the best way to build your message. People keep saying no, 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 no. You got to tweak a little bit. Boy, I just sounded like an old Jewish man, didn't I? You got to tweak a little bit. I do look the hint by Kluben. All right. 90% of salespeople choose not to be successful. And this is one of those things that courage comes into play. You don't love yourself enough to be successful. We're going to talk about that a little further if there's time, but it all starts from that. Your family deserves your best. Your customers deserve your best. And when you wake up and think about that and think of how much you can change the world, the guy quit after 500 or 1,000 people don't buy my chicken recipe. The world changed because of that. And he's just one man. You're just one person. This is possible. You need very little sales skills to be successful. We'll cover that in a minute. I'm just going to keep myself on track because you could even tell by talking to me. Yesterday I was on the phone. I was cold calling. Sidebar. Yesterday I was cold calling, and after four rings, I'm kind of ready to leave a message. And so my mind is wandering a little bit, but just then the guy answered. And then because I talk to myself a lot, out of my head, I heard these words come. He says, hello. And I said, I think I really do have to go pee. That came out of my mouth, which is an inappropriate thing to say to anybody, especially when you're doing a cold call. But
can I use a segue here? Because Gareth asked, what's your most successful opening line on a cold call? And we're going to take apart from the peeing opening line. What is your most successful?
Yeah. Yeah, that one didn't work so well. I actually chickened out. I turned red in the face and hung up. But the person didn't call back, and I was grateful. Yes, that is who is that person asking that question?
It's Gareth. Gareth.
Okay, Gareth. Gareth, maybe leave a message on what you sell, and we'll give you a little plug here. But great question. We're going to talk about it. I have a series of 7 magic words that works really well for me, and I use it almost all the time, which I'll share later today. I promise you, it's a big thing. But Step one, what works best for me, and I said it before, is enthusiasm and smiling before I answer the phone. It's the old type of thing. When you're on a cold call, you're transferring energy more than you're transferring words. But I'll give you the right words a little later. I promise, Gareth. And if I don't, you can hit me, as my mother would say, with a wet noodle. Anything else?
Joe is also asking, there's differences between cultures. What you think about that? And Gareth agrees.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay, yes. Actually, let's write down there. Who was that? Joe, you said was his name?
It's Joe, yeah.
Yeah, Joe. Okay, Joe, this is for you. It was a perfect segue. It's like we're the same person. When I look in the mirror sometimes, Joe, I see you. That's how we're on the same telepathic wave. All right, so you got to know your customers, all right? And the only two things you need to know about your customers is who they are and what they want. Because that's what's going to just who they are. So here's the thing. Most people, and this goes across all cultures, most people are 90%, 80%, 98% of the people that you meet are, and I want someone to give me some answers, throw them out here. And I'm sure if Jourdan was a decent owner of a software company, he'd probably offer somebody a prize of a discount off or something. I don't know if he wants, but I want people to guess. And so Jourdan, what are some guesses that are people having?
They say humans, skeptical, not interested. I think
Okay.
98% of the people you meet are humans is probably correct, but it's probably more like 100%.
Okay. Well, you're right. I don't know who got that right. Nobody gets that right. You're absolutely right. 98% of the people that you meet are humans. And if you're worrying about the other 2%, they're lawyers, obviously. I mean, you can't, what's wrong with it? Am I the only person that knows this? That you ever try to deal with when I do conventions with lawyers, I change that to engineers, just for your sake there, Jourdan. But yes, but the fact that you know most of people and know they're human because you know how they act, because you know how you act as a human. You know what you like and what you dislike. And I know, I'm not knowing anybody here, but I know every one of you, this is a big thing in America. Do they have a lot of a lemonade stands in Europe?
No.
And your country? No?
No, we don't do that. Yeah,
Okay.
It's a very American thing.
Okay, so in America, it's a very, okay, so Joe, maybe this culture thing is all fakaked and I'm completely wrong, but most people are human. And if you saw two little cute girls on the side of the road selling lemonade, even if you weren't thirsty, you would stop and pay I don't know what the euros is, the 50 cents to go ahead and get that lemonade. And you would do that because it makes you feel good to help these people. I had my son, Matthew, I don't have any pictures of him, but he's 21 now, but when he was like 11, he's really, really dyslexic. Like everything's upside down and backwards and all that stuff. So in 6th grade, my son informed me he's not going to college. He says, Daddy, I'll give you 12 years. He doesn't talk like my father. He says, Daddy, I'll give you 12 years, but I'm not going to college, And I said, all right, son, well, what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to start a business. Anyway, he started this little junk removal business where I would follow him in the truck like a big goofball. And Matthew would knock on doors. And if you have an old chair or a lawnmower or a couch and you want to take it to the dump, we put it in the truck. We take it to the dump. They pay him. Unbelievable. His first day out, he earned $250, about 200 euros to you and me. I'm having fun with that for some reason. Anyway, and so I'm like, Matthew, this is crazy. How do you do this? And so the little boy, 11 years old, took me aside and said, Daddy, you just don't understand. He says, you think these people are giving me their old chairs and lawnmowers and couches because they're trying to get rid of their old chairs and lawnmowers and couches. And I said, duh. And he says, no, Daddy. He says, Dad, they're giving me these things. And here's your point, Joe, because it makes them feel good to do business with an 11-year-old. You see, he innately, that little bastard, he innately knew his value. He knew what he was selling. And Joe, if you know what you're really selling, and more importantly, if you know what your customer is really buying, you won't have a problem with that cultural difference. You'll meet them where they are. Don't be like me. I mean, I don't even like me. Don't try to be something you're not. Be that completely, totally honest person that has the solution to their problem and wants to give it to them. And that changes everything. And I think that works in every culture. Make sense? Say thumbs up if that's good, or hands up, or dance. I don't know what the hell you do here. You know, I am like an in-person type of presenter. This is all challenging. All right, so your customers and prospects, they're human too. Treat them that way. Joe, you set me up. All right, any other questions, Jourdan, while we're here?
Not so far, I think, no.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, if somebody wants to come up on stage, raise your hand, and we could play some games together. So if someone's brave enough, because you know how
I'm lowering everyone's hands now to make sure that we don't invite anyone on stage who doesn't want to. But if you put your hand up now, I will put you on stage.
Should I pretend to be a 13-year-old girl when selling via? Yes, you should. That's exactly right.
There's 2 panelists coming. There's Richard.
All right, well, good.
And
so
Uwe, the crazy guy from Australia, is also coming.
Oh my gosh, Richard Booty.
Sorry guys, it's 3 a.m. I'm not quite appropriately dressed.
Oh, really? Are you wearing pants?
Well, I'm not showing you that.
You know that, but that's awesome. When people do interviews right now, and I always tell everybody when you're on by the way, this is perfectly fine, and I think you're awesome for doing this. But when you're on an interview, a lot of people will dress up on the top end and not on the bottom end. And I always encourage everybody, man, go all out. Because for 2 reasons. One, you know, they might ask you, hey, stand up. I want to see if you're wearing pants. I would do that. But more importantly, you know it. You know you're not 100%. You know you're not wearing pants. You know? And so most of sales is a head game. It's the most sales. So now what's your name? Is it? How do you pronounce your name?
With great difficulty, Uwe.
Ooh, that's not difficult. Uwe. Okay. Uwe.
You're doing great, thank you.
Yeah, you know, it's my skill. All right, so I don't know if you could see my screen here now. Okay, so this is every business, by the way, every business. It's your message, your marketplace, and your media. That's the marketing plan for every company in the world. All right, so every company has a message, what you're selling. Every company has a target market, who you're selling that to, and the media is just the delivery system of, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I got to look at this camera. Delivery system is just, the media is just a delivery system of that message to your marketplace. Used to be newspapers, used to be telephone, now it's Zoom, now it's blah, 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 blah. Used to be letters, whatever it is. It's just a different media. Okay, and I need to keep that in mind, because if your message blows, doesn't matter how you send it to the marketplace, it's not going to work. And if your message is awesome, but you're sending it to the wrong marketplace, who cares how it gets there? So, with that said, Uwe, I want to make him big and next to me. How do you? Yeah. You can't, I just see him big. Okay. So, Monsieur Uwe, you in front of 99 other people here, all across the globe, without prompting, what's your message?
We provide solutions for people aspiring to financial independence, choices in retirement, or leaving a legacy. I'm a solution provider.
First of all, everybody applaud him for the bravery of being so terrible in front of so many people. I'm just kidding. No, that was very, very good. And I kind of know what you want, but for me, and just for me, the words were too big. So I want to show you how to shorten it up. You provide solutions to whom?
For people aspiring to financial independence.
Okay, so stay here with me, and we're going to look at some other. I'm sorry, I can't get everybody. Richard Booty, I'm going to call you back later, but I just got to deal with one person at a time. All right. Richard Booty, by the way, is here. His name is Richard Booty. Now, in America, booty is another word for tuchus, and Richard is the longer words of Dick. So his name is actually Dick Booty. So there we go. So he's very famous all across the world. So get rid of Dick Booty because I see his face and he's an awesome guy. And I'm going to talk to you. He's going to, I'll get you up here later to tell him what your product is.
You want me to take him away or?
Yeah, take him away and we'll bring him back later.
Okay.
So stay with me because I'm going to ask you to redo that after when you see this thing. So if you could see my screen, make me big again. Know your message. So I did a program years ago, and this was the most important part of it. That's small. Why is it going so small? The 6 stimuli, so you're not going to read it. I'm going to have to read this to you. This was an email that I got. Reality Shares is expanding its partnership with hard money lenders and other industry professionals. We offer one of the most competitive residential bridge loan programs in the country. By the way, I already hate these people. I don't need a bridge loan. I don't need any of this stuff. We close quickly, offer rates as low as 7.9%. I'm like, who cares? This guy's interrupting and ruining my day. You can't see this because because something's not working, but he says the word we and I and us 400 times. I don't care about we and I and us. What do I care about, Uwe?
Only myself.
Amen. All right. So here's a different email that I got. It was from this guy. He says, hey, Dan, I know we both have no idea who each other are, but I came across your profile and I was checking some of your work and I'm impressed. You're awesome. You just met me, Uwe, all right? But what do you think the odds are that I'm going to read the next line?
Pretty damn high.
It's 100% because he's talking about number one. He's talking about me. I have no idea what he does, but I'm going to read the next line to find out. I'm looking to expand my network and would love to send you something special like a gift. Now he's going to give me a gift for my company to start the relationship right. Now he's going to tell me what he is. I'm thinking. He goes, we have an office in Cumberland close to Brave Stadium. We're open for renovation, blah, 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 blah. And then here's his close. Ready? Check out my profile and let me know. And what do you think I did? I checked out his profile and I gave him a call, which isn't all that impressive because I call everybody. So there's 3 words that will literally repel your customers from you. They will push them away. Write these words down. These words are I, we, and us. So whenever you're building your message that you're going to convey to another human, I want you to use the word I, we, and us as little as possible and transpose them with the 3 words that attract, which are you, yours, and I'm in the South here, and we say y'all. I actually don't say y'all, and I don't say fixin' to, but I like to. So you, yours, and y'all. So now, in front of God and everyone, I want you to change your message and tell me what you do without using the word I, we, or us. It's like an impossible task, so don't worry.
Would you like me to provide a solution for you if you're inspiring to financial independence?
You know what? If you were here, I would hug you. I think that was great. And what he did, and everybody please, this is really important what he did. He talked immediately about their solutions. If you're like most of the clients that we work with, you have a challenge with earning more money, saving more money, and keeping it without the government getting most of it from taxes. Is that pretty close to the truth? I basically told you everything that I do, and I'm making it up, obviously, everything that I do without saying I, we, and us. I'm implying it by talking about the specific solutions versus what we do to fix them. The specific problems, I apologize, as opposed to the solutions that we provide. People that we deal, if you're like most of the people that we deal with, you have issues with blank, blank, and blank. Am I pretty close to the truth? Yes. I got you nodding your head 4 times without even telling you what I do. Sound good? All right. You're awesome, Uwe. If I were Jourdan, I'd give you a gift, but you know how he is. All right. Out. We'll get something else. Thank you so much. By the way, if anyone wants to, everybody needs to link in with me. It's Dan, Jourdan, a little later, whatever, and start a conversation with me, and we'll go from there. The point is, it's all about you. It's not about you. So this is not about me. Why do humans buy? Don't worry about how to sell as much as you need to worry about why people buy. And here's the 4. There's only 4 reasons. If there's only 4 reasons, you should probably know them. Don't you think? Say yes. Raise your hand if that's an agreement. That's the whole thing I don't understand. If you're getting the same objection over and over again, dude, be prepared for it. I mean, you know what's going to happen. That's your job. I think it's your job. Okay, why do humans buy? They buy first because they like you. They buy second because they trust you. By the way, which one? Give me the number 1 if you think it's like, the number 2 if you think it's trust. I'm so pleased with all of you actually getting involved with this. Oh, some people are, oh, look, 22. Very good. All right, good. You guys play. Okay, now just the women. This is a very sexist question now. How many of you women have ever gone out on a second date, not a first date? First dates are easy. A second date with a person that you didn't like at all. You hated them, but you trusted them. Go ahead and put a 1 up there if you've ever done that, or a 0 if you haven't. Yeah, nobody does that. It's like, I mean, it very quickly goes to trust. But man, if they don't like you, you don't get in the door. You got to be, rule number 1 is be likable. And that's what we're talking about, Joe. That works with every culture. I mean, it's not like some people are just grumpy by nature, but it's not like you can't grump somebody into friendship. It's not like, I'm grumpy too, so we'll be friends. I mean, even grumpy people don't like grumpy people. It's not, you're not going to grump somebody into friendship. And so, don't be like them. So they need to like you first. And now it very quickly goes to trust. And then the third thing, the reason why people buy is because they believe you. By the way, this is your resume. This is your credentials. This is what you've done in the past. This is your history. But here's the kicker. Most people lead with that. Well, the reason why you should do business with us is we have 700 customers. We've been in business since 1901, and everybody wears red hats on Thursdays. And you're talking about, that's what you lead with. Heck, you're not even in the door yet. You're not likable. Be likable. So they like you, they trust you, they believe you. And then they will have the big one. They have a desire to work with you. This is like stopping and buying lemonade from 2 girls on the side of the road that people in Europe don't do. This is like your grandmother buying insurance from you. No one's going to come to your grandmother and say, listen, I got a better deal. You're probably going to have that. She wants to help you. You're with me? Does that make sense to everybody? Raise your hand. You're still here? Are people still here, Jourdan, or are they leaving in droves?
No, they're still here. A few left, but some people had to go somewhere else, they said. So.
Even Dick Booty?
I think the booty is still here.
Okay. All right. Let's see where we are. Thomas Neff. Neff? Is it just Neff? If it's just Neff, why are there 2 E's and 2 F's? How do you pronounce that name? Is it Neef? Is it Neef?
Neef.
I'm asking. How do you do it? Oh, it's Neef. Okay. Yeah. I love that guy. By the way, everything that I'm saying today, it comes from this spirit of gratitude and love. I'm just so grateful each morning I could wake up and see the sunrise, and I think I have another chance. And I think if you look at your sales world that way, every day you're up, man, it's just another chance. Think how many people are dead right now. I mean, all throughout history, there's like billions and billions of people are dead. You're one of the few that are still around. You know, it's another chance. Meet some more people. Okay, so you're not as nice as you think you are. We covered that. Cold calling, we're going to do that. 9% of salespeople choose not to be successful. Covered that. You need very little sales skills to be successful. We're going to do that right now. No is better than yes. We'll do that in a second. We did the noble profession. I am on track in your face. All right. Message, marketplace, and media. This is where we are. So let's talk about your, wait, can you elaborate to what desire to work with you? Yes. A desire to work with you. Good question. And I'm sorry, I can't see your name here, but sometimes people go on a job interview and the job is already filled. And so you're there and and they say, all right, we'll just hang out. And they find you and they talk and they say, you know what, that position has already been filled with something else, but stick around. Let me see if we could find something else for you. And so they've already bought you as a person. They think that you are going to be a better influence and not even a producer, just a better advocate, or their company will be better off having you there with them in some capacity than not being. That's a desire for them to do work with you, and that overpowers nearly everything. And you get that all from character. I hope that answered your question. Okay, the number one tool for you to make this year great with your Salesflare CRM. The number one tool, not the number two tool, the number one. By the way, I once saw, I don't know if numbers work the same in Europe, but I once saw it was a plumbing company, and it said, we're number one at number two. Like that was the sign. Okay, well, I don't know if that works. Okay, use the dang phone. Pick up the phone. We have a wonderful opportunity right now where there's been a generation and a half of people that are afraid of using the phone, which means that people aren't making calls. Okay, but even better, the people that are receiving the calls don't know how to handle it. If we had time, I'd make a call right now. I can get a lead right now. People can't handle it on the phone. They don't know from that anymore. They're scared of it. The only time you have control in your life is when you make the outgoing call. And if those of you who are married, you know, literally, it's the only time you have any control in your life is when you pick up the phone and make an outgoing call. And it's such an advantage on the world.
We have a question related to that. Pete is asking, like, if you pick up the phone, what is the quickest way to be likable? Because you're already interrupting their workflow, so they're already less likely to like you.
Yes. Yes. Okay, good. Beat, thank you so much. Beat, you used the 7 magic words. You don't know what, who was my guy before that asked for the 7 words? Was it Uwe again? I don't know.
I can't remember.
Okay, well, with the person before Joe. Anyhow, yeah, use the 7 magic words. Now, there are 3 things that people have that makes them feel good to give to you. Like they want to give it to you. If you ask for them, they will give it to you and they will feel good. And they will like you as a matter of course, because they feel good. Those 3 things are opinions. Heck, everybody has an opinion. You know, let me ask your opinion on something. Who would be the right person to speak with? And then second one is help. People love giving help. It used to be, I remember before everybody had GPS and everything, and you're lost somewhere and you would roll down your window and you see someone on the side of the road, hey, do you know how to get to, Jones Street? And, you would fight. I know, everybody wants to be the winner, the one to help. People love to help. It makes them feel good. It's like they were born for it. It's just like a good feeling, excuse me, you know what time it is? Oh yeah. Everybody loves doing that. And then the third one, and this is a Mac Daddy, is advice. Man, you ask advice from somebody, it's a double whammy. A, they get to feel good because they're giving you help. But B, you've just called them smart. I mean, like, you never ask for advice from an idiot, You never ask for advice from a 3-year-old. I mean, they're a 3-year-old. What do they know? But now I'm a man. I can get, my advice is valuable. I am worthy. You're giving a gift to somebody. So the 7 magic words are these. Everybody write them down, write them down, write them down. Use it all the time. The words are, have to go. Thanks, Jourdan. Looking forward to see the recording. Oh, we're recording this?
Yeah, we're recording this.
It
It
was
says
a
so in the-
one-shot deal. Look at, okay. I wonder if you could help me. You can add the word, hey. Hey, I wonder if you can help me. Hey,
I
wonder if
typed
you
it
can
in the
help
chat
me.
for guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so, it just works for everything. When you say, let's see, what do people normal say when you first get on the phone? They say, hi, how are you? If you say, hi, how are you? The person on the other hand hears this. Cold call, stay away, get out of here. That's what they hear. And the reason is they know you're lying already. Hi, how are you doing? Dude, you don't care how I'm doing. No, I really care. No, not only do you not care how I'm doing, you know that I know that you don't care how I'm doing and you don't even care. Now you're wasting my time. But if you call them, giving them the gift, hey, I wonder if you can help me. My name's Dan. This is actually a sales call. I don't know who to ask for. What we do is we work with companies like yours, and we help get you more customers and more revenue. Who would be the person I would need to speak with in regards to that? And see where it goes. Now, if you finally get the right person, if they send you to the right person, you get the right person, how do you ingratiate yourself with them? Same way. Hey, I wonder if you can help me. My name's Dan. By the way, the receptionist, Margie, was awesome. This is a cold call. Do you have 20 seconds for me? I did that yesterday. The guy said, you just used 10 seconds, kept me on the phone for 40 minutes. You know, because then you bring your value, then you bring your message. Oh, well, this is going here. So with that, I wonder if you, I lost my screen. Okay. Do you still see my screen?
Yeah, we still see you.
Okay. Well, I don't see you. All right. See, this is what happens when you press buttons. Ernie Politzer, what do you think I should do? Okay, I'm back. All right, 7 magic words. So that answered somebody's questions. Any questions coming on right now? All right, let's see where we are. I'll make sure I stay on track. I'm like Mr. Tangent. So I do this for myself. Cold calling is the best way. We talked about that. 90s, no is better than a yes most of the time, and it's a noble profession. Small adjustments in your life are much better than sales skills. Sales skills, in fact, sales training, which we do as a matter of course of something that we do, is practically useless. It's so commoditized. You can get really great stuff on YouTube. You can get stuff on, on free webinars like this. Sales training is such a commodity. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's there. Even if you're hiring people, you can just use YouTube to do this. But there are things that are much more important than skill. And they're these. Consistency is better than skill. If you talk to 3 people a day, that's better than talking to 100 people one day and then feeling guilty about it for the rest of your life, about not doing it, about killing yourself. Lower your bar for yourself. Say you're going to make 1 today. Say you're going to make 1 call today and do that. And then you'll probably make more, but lower the bar for yourself. I want you to be consistent, much more important. Oops. Process is much more important than skill. If you have a sales process, if you have a workflow, if you have something that you're doing every time, much more important than skill. I'll take people with no skill that hold fast to their behaviors all day long. Reliability, character, preparedness, attitude, and energy. Much more important than skill. That's what you're transferring. You're transferring that energy. I see I'm running out of time, so I want to be real quick. Any questions right now? I want to make sure I get everything. I do have this.
By the way, for people who want to know more about process and consistency, I do webinars on how to use Salesflare every 2 weeks. It usually pops up when you go to the website. You scroll a bit down, you'll see a little bar at the top. You can subscribe, and I'll teach consistency and process.
There you go. See that? And he's better looking too. All right, so there is one system that I want you to write down. I call it the Pax System. It was from when I went backpacking. But when someone asks you a question, the biggest challenge people have is that they answer it. And they answer it right away, and then they don't finish the story. So if somebody asks you how much does it cost, most people just give them a number, and then there's a challenge. There is a little process, and this little process will help you a lot. And I'm just going to zip right through it. Contact me, link in with me, and we could have further conversations. I have 5-minute conversations and 20-minute meetings. 5-minute conversations, 20-minute meetings. If you have questions, we could be very direct, but be on point. Before you answer any question, you got to position it. Hey, thanks for asking that question. You got to get somebody's attention. Somebody asks you a question, they're not listening to the answer. Hi, how you doing? Oh, good. They're not listening. You got to stop it. When your kid wants to clean their room, you say, clean your room. They didn't hear you. If you say, Matthew, now you got his attention. Clean your room. So you got to position it first. Oh, that's a good question. Let me ask you, why were you asking that? And so you got to do that, get their attention. Second, then you answer the question. And then lastly, you got to close. I've done this many times. Does that make sense? Are you good with that? Are we on the same page? Are we together? You still with me? Any questions? You can't just let it hang there anymore. How much does it cost? $500. Tension, tension, tension. How much does it cost? Good question. Thanks for asking. I know you're serious. It's $500. Let me ask you, was that more or less than you thought it would be? You got to close at the end. Every question gets a close. All right, so we did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. I want to get to the end here. I got a little story that's not good. Any questions so far? Because we're coming up to the end and I don't want to keep people any longer. I know how valuable your time is. Specific questions right now before I start talking about my wife.
Is she nice?
I'm sorry?
Is she nice?
Oh, she's as good as they get. Well, okay, so here we go. So 1994, a long time ago. Oh, what's the best way to connect with you?
I'll drop LinkedIn in the chat. What do you think?
Yeah, drop the LinkedIn in the chat, but leave a message too. Hey, I saw you on this thing,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And let's get together and we can rock and roll from there. It's the easiest way. Yeah, so I came down to visit a friend to Atlanta from New Jersey, took me to a party, met some girl, blonde hair, Southern accent, bakes pies. I'm thinking this place is great. So I went back home. I moved here 2 weeks later, asked the girl to go out with me. She says no. And I said, well, I moved here. What's wrong with you? I got a boyfriend. So the next week I asked her out again. She says no. What's wrong with you? And I said, well, I moved here. And next week I kept on upping it up. 6 months, 26 times. Finally, the 27th time she agreed to go out with me and went to a baseball game. It was very good. We had a good time. And eventually we got married, a couple kids, yet to have a bad day. I asked her, I said, why did you finally agree to go out with me? And she says, well, I figured you were willing to work this hard to get me. You'd be willing to work equally as hard to keep me. In sales, it's flattering when you want somebody as a customer. If you treat them like everybody else on an automated email and just send stuff out and hopefully something hits and all that stuff, you'll get some people. And you'll get some people that'll say yes, but they're not really committed. You want people to say no. You want people to say no many, many times. The sale doesn't start until the person says no. Each time I asked this girl out, I upped it and I upped it and I became a better person because I wanted to live up to that. Your customers want to deal with the best version of you. They deserve it, and you deserve to be that best person. By the way, we've been married 25 years. We just had our 25th anniversary. She hadn't baked a pie since. I mean, she just wrangled me in. All right. This is why you won't do it. By the way, this is what I do on sales calls. After I go to a sales call, we have with Sales Arbiter, we do sales consulting. If you work with us, you'll get more customers and more revenue. We work in the sales silo. That's what we do. And so because of that, we don't do marketing. We don't do lead gen. We do sales and build that process, and we can guarantee you work with us, you'll get more clients and more revenue. That's it. But when I go meet them in person after we set up the appointment, this is what I say to them. Let me tell you the reasons why you won't do business with us. I say, you're going to probably think it costs too much money. You're probably think it's going to take too long to implement. And you're going to have some challenges because our methods are a little different. Some people aren't going to buy into it. You're going to have some turnover. Which one of those is your biggest problem? Take some courage. But the reason why you're not going to implement any of these plans that I talked about today is it's hard. And people like easy. It takes longer than you hope to start seeing some results, people watching your LinkedIn videos and things like that. And it never gets any easier. You get better, but it never gets easier. Thank God. That keeps everybody else out. And then lastly, your desire for freedom is weaker than it ought to be. Because the only true freedom you'll ever have in your life is when you could be, as my father said, dropped off in any place, anytime, anywhere, and have the ability to earn yourself an income. We don't have time for this awesome story, but if you want to get in touch with me, that's how you spell my name, Dan Jourdan. It's on Google all over the place. I'm very, very accessible. There's no excuse not to contact me, unless, of course, you don't want to. But I'm very accessible. And for those of you in America, I have a texting service, text Deej, D-E-E-J, D-E-E-J to 55678, and you'll get a bunch of stuff and all that stuff. And what I'll get is your telephone number. Be prepared to get banged. All right, any other questions?
People are saying awesome presentation and good stuff and thanks. No questions so far.
Okay. Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, Jourdan, and for Salesflare and for all that you've done for me, and I really appreciate you.
Bram is asking what you sell. It wasn't clear, apparently.
Yeah, we have a sales consulting firm. And hey, listen, if you're like most of the customers that we deal with, you're frustrated with getting new customers, having those customers pay top dollar, and having the people to continually make that system move forward. If that's an issue for you, you know how to contact me.
Cool. Thank you very much, Dan. This was, I think most people really liked it. And for those who weren't here, there will be a recording. Or if you want to watch it again, I did summarize a few things in the chat, but I'm sure you will want to watch some of the details again. I'll send it around.
Awesome. And I could sign off the way I always do on each one of my morning videos. You're the best. I'm the Deej. Go get them today.
Nice. Bye-bye.